What's up everyone, my name is MunchingOrange, and very recently this YouTube channel hit 100,000 subscribers. I prepared this little draw my life video for you guys, but before getting started, I really want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart for watching all my videos and for subscribing. I really never thought I would get to this, so thank you all so much. I wanted to do some kind of awesome video for you guys for 100,000 because this is a huge milestone and I'm so thankful. And I've always really wanted to make a video where I just tell you guys a little bit more about myself and what exactly even is MunchingOrange, where did it come from? So I saw a couple of really cool videos called Draw My Life, and I thought I would give it a try. So, this is my life. I was born in a small island in the Caribbean called Puerto Rico. And contrary to popular belief, my birth name actually isn't MunchingOrange. It's actually Ariel, or Ariel, if you're of Latin tongues. It's supposed to be some kind of confusing mix of my mom and my dad's names, but most people just say it's the Little Mermaid. Anyway, I had a pretty normal childhood. I would go to elementary school and get straight A's, no problem. Go to grandma's house after school, watch Pokemon, and play video games every day. And I'd always get all the girls. Okay, maybe not that. At some point I got a little sister, but we always got along, so there's not much to say about her. My life really took a turn when I was going into 5th grade and my mom announced we were moving out of Puerto Rico to where my dad had been living. You see, my dad was always a great figure to me, a hero I looked up to every day, but he didn't exactly make all the right choices. He didn't exactly live with my mom, my sister, and I all the time, and when he did, sometimes he wouldn't show up at night, but I was a kid, so I really didn't question his absence. Much later in life, though, I would learn that most of my dad's absences were due to his problems with drugs and alcohol. But now back to me. It was time for our big move all the way from Puerto Rico to New York City. During the past year or so, my dad had been going to some sort of rehab center in New York, and he was ready for us to move with him. This was probably one of the best years of my life. I got to experience life outside of Puerto Rico for the first time in probably the biggest city in the United States. My family was overall really happy, and I was doing great in school. Now I'm not trying to be racist, but during this year and a half, I lived in Brooklyn, and I was literally the only white-ish kid in my entire class of about 100 students. It was pretty hard to fit in. That is, until this kid named Samuel came along. He became my best friend. Going to his house every day after school and playing video games together easily became my favorite part of any day. But I guess it became too much of a good thing. My dad fell into troubles once again and we couldn't continue living in New York, but we couldn't go back to Puerto Rico either. And this is when a very annoying cycle began. We moved to a small town in South Florida with my grandparents, where I went through the rest of 6th grade. Once again, I made a really good friend, a friend I would shortly lose when we moved to Daytona. All was good and dandy, for a while anyway. Throughout all these moves, I continued to keep my grades up in school, and yet again I made a great friend. Problems rose with my dad and we found ourselves back in South Florida. This is when my mom realized she had enough of moving around due to problems with my dad. And I realized I was done making friends if I was going to keep losing them all the time. So I started looking for friends elsewhere, in a place where friends follow you no matter where you move, the internet. It was around February 2008 when I discovered the magic of Windows Movie Maker, and I created my first YouTube video ever. This was completely different from the videos I make today. It was actually a skit titled Ninja Baby, very much inspired by Niga Higa and Smosh, who I watched almost every day back then. One day my mom decided we were done following around my dad, so we moved back to Puerto Rico with my other grandparents, where I continued to make these crazy random skits which I thought were hilarious back then, but looking back at it now, they probably weren't very good. Eventually, I started finding gaming videos on YouTube and got really interested, especially in Pokemon. I made a new YouTube channel called Pokemon Pie, and began making Pokemon sprite animation videos. It was a small community, but I really liked making these videos and being a part of that community. For a couple of months, I continued to create these videos until December of 2008, when my life took a giant turn once again as my dad passed away. I never wanted to admit it, but I became depressed, unmotivated to do any schoolwork, always keeping in mind the loss of my dad and that he would never be in my life any longer. For the rest of 9th grade, I stopped caring about school, especially since Puerto Rico's education didn't provide a challenge for me. I also stopped making videos for a while. I really didn't do much with my life, but I did find myself going back to an old hobby, a talent I learned from my very own father, drawing. Drawing became a bit of an outlet whenever I was sad, and it made me realize I wanted to pursue something in art. But that wasn't all. During this time, I also discovered one of the biggest influences in my life, and that was the art of Let's Play. And that was when MunchingOrange was born. I joined an online community of Pokemon players that followed a big YouTuber who Let's Played Pokemon ROM hacks, and I was really interested, so I decided to begin making my own videos.
Hey everyone, this is MunchingOrange, the new kid on the block in Pokemon hack run-throughs. So you probably know already of more recognized guys, but I think I can get up to their ranks. Yeah.
Did I accomplish what I said in the video? Well, technically yes. Most of the people I looked up to back then don't even make videos anymore. I started to grow an audience, people that actually looked forward to watching me play a game and talk to them each day. This is when I opened my eyes and finally realized that I couldn't stay stuck in the present thinking about my dad, and instead, I had to look forward to what I can accomplish in the future. So with my crappy Puerto Rican internet, I continued making Let's Plays for Pokemon ROM hacks and main series games, and my channel slowly but surely started to grow. And along the way I met so many awesome people that helped my channel and became great friends. Slowly but surely, I grew my way up until I got a big break to join the group Ninbuzz, and through them, the Game Station, a partnership with YouTube. I was living my dream. But of course I couldn't have achieved any of this without you guys, so I wanted to make this video to thank you all so much for all the support these 4 years I've been making videos on this channel. This has become way more than just a job or a hobby. It's become a passion, and I really want to continue making videos for you guys for as long as I can. So thank you all so much for helping me reach 100,000 subscribers, and here's to the future. Goodbye!